to today's episode of The Resourceful Child. Welcome on board. If you're here, you can see me, you can hear me. Say hello in the comment section so that I know I've got company with me. My name is Maribeth Chima, and I am the founder of the Parenting Through Mentorship Academy. Every child craves for one thing. Every single child, no matter their age, their size, their race, or whatever at all, every child craves for one thing, and that one thing is attention. We carry that attention thing even as we grow into older people, right? So every child craves attention. Hence, there is a silent question that every single child carries around them. And that question is, can you see me? Right. This is a silent question that your child carries around. He says, can you see me? Can you hear me? Do I really matter? That is a silent question that your child carries around. And in many cases, this question is not answered for the average child. When this question is answered, however, what you find is that, especially when it is answered with love, affirmation, and attention, what you find that is that the child feels safe and the child feels enough. The child feels safe enough to grow, to explore, and to learn. So the ability for a child to learn freely, to grow freely, and to explore, to harness that curiosity that they have and use it to explore their environment comes from the child feeling loved and feeling safe as a result of that love. However, when that question or those questions are not answered, what you find is that learning shuts down. Learning shuts down for the child, and the child begins to focus on getting your attention. The child begins to focus on getting the attention of the people who matter in his or her life. The child begins to try so hard to be noticed. And so it is difficult for that kind of child to feel safe because the child doesn't feel loved, because the child's love language is attention. A child's love language is I see you. A child's love language is you are enough. A child's love language is that you are worth my attention. So the moment the child is not getting that attention, the moment the child is not feeling like you hear them or you see them, the child does not feel loved. And learning shuts down when this happens. Now, in not so extreme cases, what you get is that the child begins to lose their zests and their natural instincts for learning. Now, when you find young children, what you see is that a young child naturally or ordinarily wants to explore their environment. A young child naturally wants to figure out the things that happen around them. So the child is curious. The child's natural instinct is to find solutions to the problem in their environment. Now, when this child is not being shown love by way of being affirmed, being seen, and given attention, what you have is that the child loses that natural instinct to be curious. So the child is not curious anymore, or the child is afraid to feed that curiosity through exploration. So you find that the child is a bit more withdrawn now. So that's the child that comes into a place. So when you see those parents, you see parents, or you walk into a classroom and you find children who are constantly sitting in one place, quiet. They don't make any trouble. They don't move around. They don't do anything. You know, that's kind of classroom where you walk into and it's like you can hear a pin drop silent all the time. I promise you, go closer. The teacher is probably not allowing the children's natural instinct to come to play. A typical class that is vibrant is one that the children have their high moments, and there are times that the children can be made to focus on what they're doing. So when you walk into a class and the children are not doing anything per se. They're not doing anything tangible that is taking their attention, or they are focusing their attention on. And yet, the children are just sitting down in one place most of the time. I promise you, they are not allowing, I mean, someone is not allowing them explore that natural instinct, that curiosity, that, need to figure out themselves, that need to tinker around things around them, to just navigate their environment, or navigate, the world around them. So a child who is given the opportunity is a child that you see constantly trying to feed their curiosity by exploring their environment. And that is what it is supposed to be. That we allow our children, we allow them keep that natural instinct, right? That natural instinct that allows them explore, that natural instinct that allow them want to solve the problems in their environment. Now, what happens to that child that I was talking about, the one that is not in the extreme case of, learning shutting down, right? That one that doesn't just get the attention most of the time, or it's neither here nor there. 1 minute, mommy's got his time. The next minute, mommy doesn't have his time. 1 minute, daddy's present. The next minute, daddy's gone for a long time. That child that is never sure of your attention. That child that only gets your attention once in a while. As I said, what happens is the child begins to lose their zest. Now this kind of children begin to second guess themselves. They feel inside of them, they want to know. They are still curious, but no, they cannot explore it because in many cases, they have been shut down. So that is the child also that comes to you and wants your attention, and you're like, oh, I'm tired today. Tomorrow I'm tired. That is a child that is trying to explore, and you're constantly telling them to stop. Will you stop that? Will you get down from there? Will you leave that alone? So that child that is constantly being judged, that child that is constantly being reprimanded, that child that is constantly being told to stop, that child that is constantly being held and kept safely so that they don't injure themselves and nothing harmful comes to them. That is a child that you are quietly stifling, that you're quietly shutting down, that you are quietly stopping their natural instincts. So yes, it's not the extreme case where they stop learning altogether, but they lose their ability to explore. They lose that natural instinct to explore, find solutions, and all of that. And you know something? That is where a lot of us, that is where many of us found ourselves. So that is where many of our children are finding themselves even today. You would think that because of the times that we are raising children, we should know better. But we do not know better. And it's really sad because what we are doing now is that we're raising children who just go and they learn because they have to learn. The natural instinct to move on their own, the natural instinct to find out and discover on their own, the natural instinct to solve problems on their own is shut down every day because we are shutting them down. We are constantly judging them. We are constantly, it's one thing or the other all the time. So we need to be careful as parents, okay? We need to be careful as parents because if really we want to raise children who will feel seen, who will feel heard, and who will feel worthy, then we should be ready to be present enough for them to feel like we see them, we hear them, and then we actually place some worth on them. A learning environment, whether in school or at home, has to be safe first. Yes. A learning environment, whether it's in school, at home, must be emotionally safe first. It must be a place where a child's voice is heard. The child feels like you can hear them. The child's voice is respected and the child's worth is affirmed. When we do this, children learn that they are important because a child will learn best where the child feels loved. A child will learn best where the child feels loved. So the more your child feels loved, the more your child learns. So love would actually bring your child to that place where the child learns easily and the child is willing to learn. We would think that, you would think that we will learn even from God. You would think that we will learn easily from the master. The scripture in Matthew chapter 3 verse 17 tells us that God affirmed Jesus Christ. Yes, before Jesus performed a single miracle, God affirmed him. He said, he said, "This is my beloved son in whom I am well pleased." That was before Jesus performed a single miracle. So, yes, his father affirmed him. He felt seen, he felt heard, and he felt valued. And that became the foundation for his confidence and for his purpose. So, parents, if we had not learning or we've not heard anything like this before, or we've not thought about it like this before, it's time for you to start thinking of it that way. Before Jesus went to do any work, before he performed any miracle, his Father in heaven affirmed him. God said, "Come on here, everyone. Look at that boy. Just look at that young man. He is my beloved son. In him I am well pleased." Jesus felt seen. He felt heard. He felt worthy. There was a sense of worth that came because this is what my Father thinks of me. So you want to raise a child today, and you want that child to learn, and you want that child to become the best version of themselves, and you are not letting them know that you see them, that you hear them, and that you feel that they are worth something, then you're not ready. You're not ready to build confidence in that child. You're not ready to set that child off to go and fulfill the purpose for which they have been created. So, dear parents, it is about time that we begin to understand that confidence is not something that people buy on the road. Sometimes you even see, because we come from a culture of shaming, we come from a culture where we want to shame people, we come from a culture where we think that we should reduce people by making them feel bad about their struggles, or making them feel bad about something that they are probably working on, or something that they are building in their lives. We come and we look at people and we tell them, "You have a low self-esteem, you have this, you have that, your body this, your body that." What is wrong with us? So because people are so bitter and people are so ignorant, we think that to tell a child or to make a child feel like the child does not have confidence. In fact, it's even bad that it's at home that parents will look at their child and will try to spite the child based off of the fact that the child does not have a certain level of confidence. If only we knew that confidence is built at home. Confidence is built by the adults in the life of the child. Confidence is built by the child, people who raised the child. So if your child is struggling with their confidence, it is because you have not done your due diligence. And it is all right, because there is no fixed age. We can all still learn to work on our confidence. We can all still learn to work on our confidence. And yes, you could meet someone today that has got, confidence issue. You could meet someone today that their confidence is low. And you meet that same person a few days, a few weeks, a few months from that time, and the child has been able to work on it. So the next time someone looks at your child, looks at you, or looks at anybody that you know and say, "Oh, confident," just tell them, "Relax. It is workable." Then we go ahead and we work on it. So yes, when our children are not affirmed, when the child does not feel seen, when the child does not feel a sense of worth because you say they are worth it, then the child begins to struggle with their confidence level. So, dear parents, there is a lot that we can do for our children if we want them to really learn, because all of this affects their learning. I already said that when this is the case, the child does not get the answer, "Can you see me? Can you hear me? Do you think I'm worth anything?" When the child doesn't get that answer, the child shuts down, learning shuts down, and the child continues or goes about trying to be noticed. Do you know that when you find children who, sometimes you find children who are constantly getting into trouble, it's simply because they want to be noticed? a child will get attention any way they can get it. If they cannot get it simply by being themselves, if they cannot get it simply by being real, if they cannot get it simply by just being themselves, they will get it by doing something that will catch your attention. So sometimes you feel you see those children who get into trouble all the time. Then they have your attention, and that's it. A child will get your attention anyhow. So yes, when learning shuts down, then the child begins to struggle to be noticed, begins to work so hard to be noticed. And why do you, or why do we want to do this to our children? Every child wants you to be their cheerleader, dear parents. Every single child wants you to be their cheerleader. When you come to the Children's Mastermind Circle, the peer mentorship and accountability group that I run for young children aged 5 to 10, the first thing you will notice as a parent when you come into that community is you will know that I am one of your child's biggest cheerleader. In fact, I said to the parents, if you like, don't affirm your child. If you like, don't cheer your child on. I will take your place in their life because I do not joke. All the child needs to do is make an effort. We don't gather them and praise them and tell them. We don't turn them into praise junkies. No, we don't. We don't turn them into people that we tell you are beautiful. Is the world ready for you? Has the world seen you? You are beautiful. What are you telling the child is what the world is not ready for? What is the child? What does the child have inside that you are pointing to them? Have you seen how kind you are? The world is not ready for the kind of kindness that comes out, exudes from you. Every tiny effort. I don't tell them what they do. What's the seeds that they are not nurturing. Don't call them, don't tell them about those things. Don't just simply tell your child, oh, you are beautiful, so that the child is all stuck up on being beautiful and physically, physical outlook and all of that. No, do much more than that. Let them make efforts, and when they make effort, praise that effort and raise the bar all the time. So as I said, when you step into the mastermind circle, the first thing you will notice is that I am such a cheerleader that as a parent, if you don't know how to affirm your child will wake up every day running to do the things that Coach Marybeth has asked her to do, running to do the things that Coach Marybeth has asked him to do, because he knows that at the end of the day, she will be there to take the trumpet up, and sing a praise for the effort that the child has made. So when our children feel affirmed that way, like Jesus felt when his father said to him, "This is my beloved son." When our children feel that way, then our children know that we love them, because your child wants you to be their number one cheerleader. I shared in a post this evening that, I was talking about how, I saw a video of our son when he was 6, when he was about 13, our son was going through, a phase in his life, right? He was going through a phase in his life where he didn't want to do anything. He wasn't making an effort towards anything. There was nothing that was exciting about school. There was nothing exciting about anything. Like he was practically just gliding, like he was practically just walking through every day. We didn't know where to put we didn't know what the challenge was. We couldn't put our finger on it, and all of that. And I started asking he was about 13 at this time, 12 going on 13. I started asking myself questions. We were worried, my husband and I. We started asking ourselves questions. What could the problem be and all of that? And then I started going back. So one of those days, I was looking at one of those videos when he was about 5. A vibrant child, right? A vibrant child, happy child, noisy child, curious child, constantly exploring. My son and I created models every weekend between when he was 5 and when he was about 8, 9. We created models. Like, I'm not joking. Like, I would go and exercise. On my way back, I would see styrofoam from, someone has bought a fridge, and has taken all those, the styrofoam. I will bring the back of my house, somewhere at the back of my house was filled with all shapes and kind of styrofoam, because we are constantly burning knife and using to create something science so shaggy in our hand. Like, we practicalized and experimented everything. Like, he just needs to go to school and learn a new topic. And what we're doing is we're creating models that we would use to reinforce that thing. See, and when our son started doing science videos, it wasn't because of the science. I mean, it wasn't because, yes, he said he wanted to teach science, and he to teach other people science because he liked science. And his mentor at the time said, okay, rather than just teach your few friends in school, you can also teach other people online and all of that. So it was easy for us to jump into it because we already had a solid foundation in that area, and we already had something going for us. All we needed to do was just jump, get some of his models, and we started using. We will create all kinds of all kinds of land, what do you call them? Land landmarks. What's it called? That will create mountains. And hey, God, there, see, something is happening to me. I think I need to sit down and check what exactly it is. Landforms. We'll create all kinds of landforms, from hills to mountain. We'll create all of that. Valley. We will create models of that. We will create models like we practically created the skeletal system. And I'm not joking, like a full skeletal system with every joint and every every bone and every joint and all of that. We created that. We had that much time. The kind of bonding that I had with my son, it was crazy. But I realized that as he grew older, we started expecting a lot. We started expecting way too much. I think that's what happened. I don't think, I know. We started expecting way too much from him. He was getting into trouble with his daddy, all of that. You want the house a certain way, and then the child is always all around the place. His scooter is at one end, this one is at the other end, because we did not, at that time, I did not understand structure. At that time, I did not understand all that I needed to preserve his natural instincts, by ensuring that he could manage himself, by ensuring that he knew how to navigate on his own, by ensuring that he had the skills that he needed at the time. So because he didn't have the skill, and he was a very vibrant and joyful, curious child, so he was constantly knocking things all around, having things all around the place and all of that. And so he would get into trouble with his daddy a lot for that reason. And on my own part, somehow there was some, I don't know, I don't want to call it pressure, because we didn't know at that time. It was just expectations, just like many of us still expect of our children today. Now, what that did to him was it got him to that place that is not that extreme one. The one I was saying, that the child begins to lose the natural instinct to explore. The curiosity is still there, but the child is not exploring that curiosity because now, for some reason, the child is being judged too much, is getting into trouble too many times, and all of that. So it was more like, I would rather do nothing than get into trouble. It was more like I would rather do nothing, than get knocked or something like that. So we still do that. And I want to beg you, if you're in that space, you need to stop. That is why your child needs to come to the mastermind circle. Do you have a 5 to 10-year-old? Because as a parent, if you are with us, we are having this conversation with you. We're helping the children build skills so that the child is not like our son at that stage. He now knows how to navigate on his own. He now has the skills that is required for him to still explore his curiosity, to still do all he needs to do, to still grow in all of these areas. And yet the child is still disciplined enough to take care of himself and take care of the things that he needs to take care of. Very important. Okay? Very, very important. Emotional safety is the breeding ground. It's the breeding ground when knowledge takes roots. When our children feel safe emotionally, then that becomes a breeding ground for them to grow in their knowledge, to gain knowledge and all of that. And of course, it becomes the roots from which wisdom will spring. So the more knowledgeable the child is, the safer the child feels, the more knowledgeable the child becomes. And of course, it's easier for the child to become wise, rich in wisdom. Because now you become an environment where the child can ask questions. Your home becomes an environment where the child feels safe to explore. Your home becomes an environment where the child feels safe to and disciplined to put things back in their place. So the child learns to solve problems on his own. The child learns to ask questions. The child gets answers when he asks questions. The guy feels seen. My daily limit. So the child feels seen. The child feels heard. Sorry about that. The child feels seen. The child feels heard. The child feels valuable. You are affirming the child. Oh, wow. I see that you're trying to figure out how to fix that thing. I like that you are putting all that effort into it. I hope you know what to do when you're done. Yes, mommy, I know what to do when I'm done. So the child feels validated. You just affirmed the child. And so the child does this knowing that he is in a safe place and he's not going to get into trouble simply because he is trying to figure out the things in his environment. And then when he is done, he's now done. He's able to pack it safely and keep it somewhere that he doesn't get into trouble for making a mess around. Or the child has a designated place where the child can go and do this when it's done. The child knows it's time to leave. The child just knows how to navigate on their own. So when this is the case, the child feels safe and the child is building knowledge. And then from that knowledge, the child is getting deep insights. Come on now. This is how they become wise. Have you listened to children who know what they're doing? Have you listened to them talk? So this could be your case, and your child could be in that place where our son was somewhere, along the line. The moment I realized and I came to terms with the fact that this is what it is, we went to work. I tell people, sometimes you see our son and you're like, oh, he is so resourceful. I'm not even joking about it. Our son is highly resourceful. That's the truth about it. He's highly resourceful. But if you know the work that has gone into it, if you know how we had to repair, if you know how we are still repairing till today, how we are still working on that child because of the mess we almost made of him because we didn't know what to do, or we didn't know how to go about seeing, hearing him, and making him feel worthy at the time. Very important. Validation builds confidence faster than correction. Validation builds confidence faster than correction. I'll give you an example how this works. Now, your child has done something. Your child has made a mess in school. Your child has spoiled something at home. Your child has failed at something or done something wrong. Now you come and you look at the child and you look at what has happened, and you say in a quiet voice, what happened to you? I know that this is not like you. I know that you are capable of doing much more. I know that you're capable of doing better than this. This result is not anywhere befitting because I know you. So what happened? I would like you to take some time, think about it, and then come back. Let's have a conversation, about what happened. What you have done is that you have validated the child. You have said, I know who you are. You have reminded the child, come on now, do you know who you are? Did you forget? Did something make you forget who you are? Sweetheart, there is so much in you. You are much more than this. So I know something went wrong, and I want you to go figure out what went wrong so that you can fix it and be you and more, because I know that you are more. So that is better, is 1,000 times better than all the yelling and shouting and correction and consequences and all of that. Very important. Validation builds confidence faster than correction. Very key. A child who feels seen does not have to compete for your attention. A child who feels seen does not have to compete for attention anywhere. See, and when you go out, you go to school, you see that child that is constantly bullying other children. Hi, Alu, how are you doing? You see all that child that's constantly bullying other children. You see that child that is constantly in other people's faces. Go closer and check. I tell my children every time. That's one that is constantly trying to take a swipe on other people so that people will laugh. No, see them for house. So when children don't feel seen at home, they are constantly performing for other people to see them. So that's it. So there's no need responding to them, at least in a way that you get into trouble with them. You just put them, I mean, push them, push back and put them in their place so that they know that they can't mess around with you, right? Push them and put them in their place and then move and pass, because you are not their problem. The problem is the child is not seen at home. So he needs to come and perform here so that other people will see them. So you need to love them. You need to help them, right? Because that's actually the problem. Okay, the last thing I'm going to be sharing today is to be heard is to be empowered. To be heard is to be empowered. Every time you pause to listen, you teach your child, right, that they matter, and that is where their self-worth begins to come from. So every time you teach your child, every time you pause and you listen to your child, you see your child, you drop your phone, pay attention to your child, what you are doing is you are letting that child know that the child is worth it. You're letting them know that they really do matter. You are letting them know that you see them and you hear them. You're letting them know that right now in my world, you are the most important thing. You see this phone, let it stay in the corner. And that's where the child's self-esteem would actually begin to spring from or spiral from. Very important. Feeling valued helps your child believe that they can be valuable. When your child feels like you value them, then the child knows that there is something inside of them that is worth it. There is something inside of them that is important. There is something inside of them. There's something about them that makes you love them so much. So the child can feel like someone who is valuable, and so he is able to give value also. You cannot give from an empty cup. So you find that people who don't feel worth it, people who don't have a sense of worth, feel that they don't have anything to give to the world. So the reason that you are second guessing yourself, and a lot of us are coming from that place. I came from that place. A lot of us, and as I said, a lot of times the reason we came from that place is simply because maybe our parents were not extreme, but they were careless enough not to be there enough for us to feel like we needed their attention. So all those stop it, all those, you make one small mistake, they escalate it, they shout, they yell, they judge you, and all of that. All of those things, all of those, you needed their attention, you didn't see them, you practically had to navigate your way through life. All of that, somewhere, without even knowing. The child in you has felt, something, I was not enough for this person to, leave everything to trust me. I was not enough for this person to understand that my mistakes were not me, basically. And so many times when you did something great, you didn't think it was all that because you were second guessing yourself. We didn't like it. We did not like it. Is it good enough? Is it not good enough? These are the issues. But as I said, let nobody ever make your child feel bad or make you feel bad and say, oh, low self-esteem, or you're second guessing yourself, because all of that can change even for you who is an adult. You can come to that place, understand where you're coming from, begin to build on it and overcome this, not to talk of a child. So if your child is in that place, you can do the same. And this is what we do with the children in the mastermind circle. We see these children, we hear these children, we validate these children. We make these children know that they are worth it. It doesn't matter if we have 80, 100, or more than 100 of them. Every single one of them feels seen, feels heard. Very important. And that's why I'm saying to you, if you have a 5-year-old to a 10-year-old and they are not in the circle right now, you need a community where your child has an extra cheerleader like me. As I said, if you come into the mastermind circle and you are not affirming or validating your child at home, I will become their cheerleader and you will sit on the sideline. I tell you. So that's why when you come, I tell parents, please, go home and affirm your children, because I will affirm them so much that they will wake up in the morning and all they want to do is what Coach Marybeth said they should do, because they know that if they do it, Coach Marybeth will be there with the what do they call that? Vuvuzela, whatever it's called. I will be there singing the praise for the effort that they are making. Very, very key. And this is where we are going to wrap up for today, dear parents. A child who feels heard learns to listen. A child who feels seen learns to notice. And a child who feels worth something learns to treat other people like they are worth something. And it will start with you. When you listen to your child, the child learns to listen to you. When you see your child as they grow older, when they become teenagers, they will learn to see you. When you make them feel like they are worth it, they will leave everything and give you attention when it matters. Thank you for joining me today. If you like to have your child in the Children's Mastermind Circle, registration into our full year cohort ends in 3 days. Yes, on the 31st, or 3 or 4 days, on the 31st of October, we shut down registration for our full year cohort turn. Face the children, because we have a journey to do with these children. We want to see them, we want to hear them, we want them to know that. They are worth every of our second a day. They are worth every of our attention. So if your child is not in the circle, why not? If your child is not in the mastermind circle, this is a good time to get them on board. And the mastermind circle is such an affordable place where the program is so affordable that you pay less than 8,000 naira in a month. All together for a full year subscription, just 80,000 naira. Okay? You can reach out to us if you like your child to be a part of the circle. We take children from ages 5 to 10. And after that, we will fortify them. We will grow with them. We will build them. We will support them. We will hold them accountable. And after that, we will launch them into the next phase of their life. But I promise you, what you will get at the end of those 3-4 years that your child is with us, what you will get by the time the child crosses from 10 to 11 is you will get a preteen who is highly resourceful, highly aware of who they are, and ready to smash their teenage years. Thank you again for joining me. If you have questions, please reach out to us. Send us a DM. You can also write in the comment section and we'll respond to you, or simply send us a chat on our number. It's everywhere online: 081306 21566. Thank you again for joining me. Have a fantastic rest of the evening. God bless you. I'll see you again tomorrow when I come your way with episode 6 of The Resourceful Child. Bye for now. Bye.